Hey guys, welcome back to Texas Young Guns. I am Russell.
I'm Lana.
And as you can see, we are not at home, but we are in Catherine's Landing up here in Hot Springs, Arkansas. We are trying to start the year 2021 off right. Also, just like the rest of you, we are trying to look forward away from 2020. Let's look back a little bit and see how 2020 went for us.
I am gonna miss the 2020 memes though. You know, like I like the ones that it's like a 5-star rating and it gives like 2020 a 1-star rating and it's like, do not recommend.
Yeah.
Terrible.
Like a Yelp review.
Yeah. I guess in the grand scheme of 2020, we really did not fare out that bad. I know 2020 was terrible for a lot of people and for a lot of different reasons, and we definitely don't want to downplay that. But for us, we had a pretty good 2020.
So at the beginning of 2020, if you guys have followed us and remember, that's when we got the bad news that Stella, our first RV, got totaled by our insurance company, which was a huge shock to us.
Yeah, I think we even did a talking video on our channel where we were talking about the possibilities of what was gonna be the outcome of the insurance, and we were like, there's no way it'll get totaled.
It's gonna be expensive, but you know.
Yeah, and so when we got that message, like, they didn't even call. I think we saw it on our phones that it was totaled, and I like freaked out.
So with the loss of Stella, we figured we weren't gonna have an RV for a while, not knowing that eventually we would find Bluebonnet so quickly. So we booked a trip to Canada.
Yeah, we just wanted to do something different. You know, we were devastated, we were heartbroken, and so we wanted to do something different. That was a place that we had been seeing pop up on all the Instagrams and Facebooks and just looked beautiful. So we booked it, you know, partially to give us a little bit of joy back. So then we get to February.
Yeah, so we lost the RV. And it was like a week later, and I was looking online again to see what else they had, and there was a Fleetwood Discovery, a little bit newer, 2005, but it had no pictures, brand new listing. And so I quickly hit up our salesman, and he sent me some pictures. So a week later, I think we went right back and looked at it and just knew. In fact, they'd already pulled it in the parking lot, and there was people surrounding it.
Yeah, like everyone that would walk by it would just stare at it. Just,
eye catcher. Long story short, that's what we bought. As you know, you guys, this year we've had this particular RV all year pretty much. So about this time, we had just about enough time to do one shakedown trip to the Livingston KOA.
Yep, that's like the park we're most comfortable with.
Yep, and of course we found things wrong, like you will when you get a new RV or used, you know, whatever, new to you.
Yeah.
You're gonna find things wrong. We had my first list of items to fix, and shortly after that first shakedown trip, barely got one trip in with Bluebonnet, COVID hit, and it wasn't that serious in March. So we were like, well, we'll be home for a couple weeks, and that'd be a great opportunity for us to fix the things that we found wrong on Bluebonnet.
Yep. So we left for spring break, or I left work for spring break, and I thought I was gonna have a very relaxing spring break at home. And then you got a email stating you were gonna be home.
Yeah, so we had a lot of togetherness in 2020.
We sure
which was
did.
one of the highlights, right, babe?
But I mean, in the beginning, we were at home pretty much all the time, which was great because it allowed us to have time to do that kind of laundry list of things that we wanted to do to Bluebonnet.
If you noticed on our channel, a lot of how-to videos came out about this time. As I worked on it, I showed you guys how to do it yourselves. But eventually those projects ended, and we got tired of working on projects. So we had to camp. We knew we couldn't really go anywhere, but we love camping. So that's when we came out with the driveway camping challenge.
Yep. We camped in our driveway.
Another good video. If you haven't seen, go check out that one. It's kind of humorous.
We full-blown, we cooked in our RV, we laid our mat out, we did a fire, we took showers.
Ran out of wine.
Yes, that was not, I did not plan that well, but it was fun.
So about this time, we're rolling into about the May time frame, and don't forget that we had booked a trip to Canada. Obviously, as of today, as far as I know, we're still not allowed in Canada.
No.
But back in May, it was kind of, the writing was on the wall that Canada probably wasn't going to happen.
No, because we had booked it for like the first part of June. And so we knew that was not gonna happen.
In fact,
so.
I think she was a little bit in denial because I had told her to cancel it in March or April, but you were still trying to cling on to.
I was that, and there was so much of like that gray area where it's like, if you wait for the airline to cancel, then you'll get credits, or there's just so much gray
Yeah.
area. And still, this is the first part of January 2021. I just now got a refund for one of my flights, and I'm waiting on a refund for the second half of the flight.
So summer rolled around, and like I said, we knew we wanted to camp somewhere. At this time, it was kind of becoming acceptable to maybe camp because people were figuring out that if you stayed to yourselves, COVID was not an issue. So
Yeah, you
at
were
first it
in
was
your own space with your
Yeah.
own people that you would be in your house with anyway.
So at first it was complete lockdown. No one even be near each other.
Yeah.
And then it kind of morphed into, well, don't be near each other, but you can still like go out and camp.
First one we went to was Galveston
Yeah,
Bay.
Galveston Bay RV Resort, a quiet little place down, not really in Galveston, but they call it Galveston, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
But it was on the water. It wasn't a bad place. It was more.
It was a good change of scenery for us.
Yeah, more for full timers, I would say. But we still had a great time. Beautiful park.
Just getting away, getting out of the house, and
Yeah, so we started getting back into camping around that time. So around this time as well, Bluebonnet started having some issues that I wasn't going to be able to fix myself. So since COVID was going on, still is today, yeah, why not take it to Freightliner and have them knock it out for us?
yeah,
So
we're pretty lucky that we have a Freightliner place not too far from where we live. So
yeah, top tip, try to avoid Freightliner if you can because it's going to cost you some money.
it is, but for very serious issues.
Yeah, stuff
like,
that obviously I'm not going to be able to work on, the big bushings and
Mhm.
alignments and all those things that Freightliner is going to do for you. So now we're about in the summertime and we're still wanting to take that big trip. So we decided to do a quote unquote staycation down to Blue Water and then eventually Huntsville State Park. And if you haven't seen those string of videos, Blue Water is a fantastic place to stay.
Blue Water just kept popping up on all of like the groups that we're part of, and it's not that far from us either. It's like less than 2 hours. It is definitely one of the top places I think that we can do.
We got to do some offshore fishing, some
Yeah,
crabbing.
we stayed at a canal site, and so those have like private piers where you can go off, and you know, we did crabbing, we did fishing, we did kayaking, which was not our cup of tea, but we did it. We booked an offshore fishing trip. It was just, overall, it was a great trip.
Huntsville State Park is a beautiful state park. It's humongous for one.
It has a really good swimming. It's really close to Huntsville, which is a college town, Sam Houston State University.
In normal times, they have a lot to do there.
So there's a lot to do there. Like, we drove one night and we went and got frozen yogurt. We did like a steak night for your birthday. So we spent the week at Blue Water, and then we finished up the weekend with a completely different change of scenery, being in a state park. So
after all that, we went and visited our brothers to the east and went to Morgan City, Louisiana, which we were just staying there to help family get to a location. And so we were basically their ride.
mm-hmm.
But we were pleasantly surprised with how awesome that little Morgan City campground was.
We loved it. Now the roads there were terrible.
That's the bad thing, is that we love that state park, but the chances of us ever going there again are slim because all the roads getting there are horrific. So now we are in late summer in August, and we visited Martin Dies Junior State Park, which is also near us.
Yes, and this was a bittersweet trip because this was the last trip we had taken in Stella. On our way home is when we had the big catastrophe. But we really like Martin Dies. It's not far from us. So we had been tracking Hurricane Laura and kind of knew it was out there, and Hurricane Marco, which was before that. Luckily, Marco kind of fizzled out, but we returned and kind of started with the idea of hurricane prep.
There's kind of a gap in our camping season because, like she said, one, I was using the RV to work out of, and two, with the hurricane season going on, really couldn't move around and go camping, obviously, during that time.
We basically boondocked, or what do they call it, mooch-docked,
Yeah, mooch-docked.
at a family member's house a few hours north to kind of get out of the danger zone.
But we made it through the hurricanes, and now we're moving towards the end of the year. In one of our most popular videos, we ended up going to Talladega, Super Speedway for the NASCAR race.
You know, we had been to tracks, but it had always been us like flying to a track or driving to a track. But this was going to be the first one that we actually stayed in our RV. So we were very excited, and we loved Talladega. When we left Talladega the last time, we were like, oh, we're coming back. Like, we loved it. So
yep. And then about at this point is when we discovered Sandy Creek Park, and we did our first Corps of Engineers park.
But we went because I just wanted to go camping for my birthday. But we love it there.
And it was the first trip for our dogs. We came back, repeated the trip a week or two later, but this time with the dogs, and they loved it.
They did. They were kind of like scared every time like an AC would come on or something would crack. Like they would just freak out. So our bigger lab, Bristol, she kind of stayed near the pedals the whole time. And then Charlotte took her spot and just kind of slept there the whole time. But they did love camping.
All right. And so then we made it to December, the end of the year. And just like everybody else, we were ready for 2020 to end. But we did discover Livingston State Park.
And we finally got in. And we really, really liked that state park. Lots of good hiking trails.
Yep. And to finish off 2020, we are here right now. So the very end of the year, we are here at Hot Springs, Arkansas, like I mentioned at the beginning of the video, at Catherine's Landing. So we are finishing off 2020 here and moving on to 2021, bringing in the new year here. And man, this park is awesome. We're gonna release a couple or a few videos on Hot Springs itself.
Yeah, there's a lot to do here. I mean, we were talking today that we haven't even scratched the surface of what there is to do here in Hot Springs.
Well, part of that's because it's closed.
Yeah.
The bathhouses are all closed.
The bathhouses are closed, but pretty much everything else is available. You can do it. I mean,
well, we're finding out that Arkansas is quite shut down.
Yeah, they are a little bit more strict and shut down, and even everything here, like it was remote check-in. You just go grab your paper off the board and you drive to your site. Yeah.
So 2021, we are still gathering our plans for 2021, but we do know that we want to take a big trip in the summer if we can.
And we have been very fortunate that we have been able to take trips and do things during COVID times, but we will probably be ready to travel in a different manner.
Yeah, so we are ready to take your suggestions. If you have a place you would like to see us go in 2021, whether it's camping, flying, driving, whatever, put in the comments below. Let us know where you would like to see us go. We'd love to do it. We'd love to take an adventure with you guys. Well, anyways, we appreciate you guys joining us for this throwback to 2020, a year in review. We're ready for it to end. So we're excited that we are now in 2021. And on that note, guys, we appreciate you watching our video. If you liked it, hit the like button and subscribe to our channel. It's free, and we put out all kinds of travel content, how-to videos, all kinds of stuff. So with that being said, we'll see you on the next one, guys. Bye.